Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Excuse me. How much ozone do you think is in the ozone layer?
Like all of it?
Uh-oh.
See, people tend to think the ozone layer is just purely made of ozone molecules, or
The ozone layer is like half air and half ozone, right?
Wrong. The right answer really is...
The ozone layer has a minuscule number of ozone molecules compared to thousands of air molecules.
Ding ding ding, that's correct! But first, let's talk a little about concentration. Concentration is all about different amounts of different materials within the same area. In this case, we have a bag of lolly snakes, 16 in total. Now we have 3 green, 2 orange, 1 pink, 5 yellow and 5 red snakes. They all have different concentrations compared to the total 16. Red has a concentration of 5/16, as there are 5 of them out of the total 16. Meanwhile, orange has a concentration of 2/16, simplified to 1/8 of the bag. See, concentration involves amounts of materials like gummy lollies, but relative to each other and the total number. The key word here, relative. But what if these lolly snakes were the particles in the ozone layer? Imagine the bag as the layer itself, and the different colours of the different molecules in the layer. See, if we think back to that little lonely pink snake, its concentration is tiny at only 1/16. This is what it's like for ozone molecules up in the ozone layer, represented in orange, except on a much bigger scale. At its max concentration, ozone exists at a concentration of only a couple thousand molecules per million air molecules. That simplifies to one pink snake in a bag of 1,000 other snakes. Ozone concentration is crazy tiny, and that's what people don't realize. They tend to think all the ozone in the world is sitting in and making up 100% of the ozone layer. The reality is that the layer only holds the most ozone relative to other layers of the atmosphere. Let's represent the layers of the atmosphere in the layers of a rainbow cake. The 2 layers we want to look most at are the troposphere and the stratosphere. The ozone layer is inside the stratosphere, and thus where most ozone is found. But within the troposphere just below, there is still ozone, but just far less, at only 2% of the ozone concentration found above. See? People think it's called the ozone layer because there's a lot of ozone by itself, but really it's called so because there's a lot of ozone relative to other parts of the atmosphere, i.e. the troposphere. If you wade through the ozone layer itself, ozone would actually be hard to come by. And that is the misconception on ozone layer concentration. It may have the most ozone, but it really doesn't have much. But overall, let's be grateful for the ozone, because without it, the human race would not have been able to survive.